Hello and welcome. I almost forgot. This is the week of the founder story, and yes, it's Sunday night. So we're a little tardy, but we do want to get this information to you because it's important. Founder story. Why you do what you do, who you do it for, and why you're uniquely qualified to do that work. And yes, as you might imagine, that ties directly back to your origin story. What makes you uniquely qualified is something that you can identify that you've been doing since last week, last month, last year, from birth. Those are your stories. That's your origin story that fuels your founder story, that guides the stories that you develop to create your founder story, to liberate those stories about the founding of your business. And if you are an employee, it doesn't matter. It's the same story. Your founding, your onboarding story. Why you joined this corporation, why you joined this company, what makes you uniquely qualified to be committed to do the work on behalf of that business. Founding story is like your origin story. It's not one that you tell all the time, but it surely is one that you tell yourself first. It's the narrative that you tell yourself about why you do what you do. It becomes the fuel for you doing it. When we don't have a founder story, when we don't have a sense of our origin story, then we're just working. We're just kind of compliant because we're working because we make money, we're working because we pick a check up every 2 weeks. But when we have an origin story, we know we're ideally suited for this work because. When we have a founder story, we know because we're ideally suited to this work, we found something broken in the world over there with those people or those businesses, and we use our skills, our aptitude, our temperament, our ability to build teams, our ability to see things differently, to fix what's broken in the world. And when we do that, we make meaning in the world, and that's satisfaction. So, founder story. Why you do what you do, who you do it for, and what makes you uniquely qualified to do the work. Yes, and I thought we'd get a little theatrical. Just a moment ago I was standing in front of The Life of Pi, a great story, and now I'm standing in front of a Tom Cruise movie, Oblivion. Because your founder story is just like those stories. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has interesting characters that we tune into, we relate to, and we sit on the edge of our seat waiting for the next chapter, waiting to get to the end of the book. And in the development of your founder story, you really never, well, let me say it this way, always leave them wanting more. Yes, you tell them about the founding, you tell them why you do what you do, you tell them who you do it for, and you tell them what makes you remarkable and what your unique skill and temperament is that allows you to do the work. But as you tell the story and you develop these interesting characters, because you know the narrative of the ideal prospect, you know the narrative of the business that you work with, you can tell a story that's compelling to them because you're the mentor in the story and they're the hero. And yet in the link, I'm going to put a link to Joseph Campbell's A Hero's Journey. In A Hero's Journey, the mentor approaches the hero, and the hero's looking into the abyss of trouble and strife and hard work and insurmountable task. And the mentor says, you know what, I have a gift. If you use this gift, the lightsaber, the force, if you use this gift, the ruby slippers, and from the Wizard of Oz, you can overcome those challenges. And when you do the work and use this gift, your world will be changed as you go through the process, and you will come out the other end changed, and so will the world around you. You know, Jason and the Argonaut and the Golden Fleece was the gift. What is your gift that you're sharing in your founder story with the person that you serve? The person that you are the mentor to, your mentee. What's your gift? Your gift is your product, service, or solution, your widget. Make it interesting. Make the story have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But most of all, make it your story. Make it a true story. Because in storytelling, we can sniff out stories that don't resonate. If the story you tell doesn't look like a story that fits you, if the story you tell doesn't have evidence of how it's woven into the tapestry of who you are, well, we'll sniff it out. So make your story about your real world and your real world prospect and business that you serve and the real world problems that you have a solution for, your gift. The founder story is an important story. It's not one that you tell to everyone, but it is a story that you need to be able to tell yourself. It's the narrative becomes the programming that fuels your operating system in the same way your origin story does. And your origin story and your founder story go hand in hand. You can't really do one without the other. There will be times when somebody approaches you and says, well, you know, you founded this business and that's great, but why you? I mean, I thought you were a CPA. What got you into this line of work? That's when you can share your founding story. And your founding story can be distilled into your elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is not appropriate anymore because the elevator pitch was something that was founded in the notion that in the time it took you to go from the ground floor to the top floor, you could pitch the executive that you bumped into in the elevator. Now we move too fast, and that elevator pitch with a 9-second attention span has to be really succinct. Well, if you don't have a founding story, I don't know where your pitch comes from. If you do have a well thought out founding story, that pitch flows like water babbling through a beautiful brook. And it sounds the same way. Lovely. But you've got to do the work. So we've changed scenes yet again. This is storytelling, right? From the life of Pi to Tom Cruise and Oblivion, and now to a simple picture from the last century, the early part of the last century, Grand Central Station with light streaming through the windows. When you think of storytelling, think of the people in the story. Think of the people in the story the same way when you look at this picture. If you take your time, this picture evokes certain emotions and certain feelings about what was going on in the early part of the last century, the grandeur of train travel. When we think about your founding story, if we don't connect with the people that you're really trying to connect with this story, your ideal prospect, then the story is just noise. The customer story is what comes next, and it will help us with the founding story. But if we start working on the founding story today and understand that we are the mentor in the story and that we are making our ideal prospect the hero, always they are the hero, not us, not your business, not you. You're the mentor, and our role is to provide our product, service, or solution, or widget as the gift to our hero that helps them slay the dragons, cross the chasm of doubt or obstacles of non-productivity so they can accomplish more. So here we are, the end of another session, the founder story. And the reason we're doing this work is the reason I'm sitting in front of this backdrop with these two images. The finger pointing down to the person with the red hat, the white tie, and the red jacket is standing out among the crowd. The umbrella over here, no, over there, is unique in that crowd of black umbrellas. When you stand up for the ideas you believe in, that's when you rise above the noise and stand out from the crowd. Each of us has a fingerprint that's unique. Our ideas are like those fingerprints, like the snowflakes in the wintertime. Uniqueness is what we seek. Uniqueness is what makes us stand out from the crowd. The stories we tell, our true stories of our origin story, our founding story, our customer story, our product story, our evolution story, and many, many more, are the stories that help us stand in our authority, that help us establish our clout, that help us rise above the noise and stand out in our own uniqueness. So your stories help you become more you. Being more you is the platform that you stand upon that makes you head and shoulders above all the other parrots out there mimicking the same words. So be more you, do the work, find your stories, and you'll stand out from the crowd and rise above the noise, and your business will grow. So let's get to work. Until next time, peace.